This has the potential to be one of the biggest announcements of the year, and for XRP, there have been quite a few pieces of groundbreaking news. XRP has virtually all but won the SEC lawsuit, and in this video, not only will we cover the latest news surrounding the lawsuit from the perspective of an expert who is revealing whether or not the new SEC chairman Atkins will dismiss this case altogether, and it will be done and finalized for good. And then how Gary Gensler decided to step down when Trump won the presidency and the White House. This caused XRP to have one of its strongest breakouts in crypto history after spending 6.8 years in a descending wedge. That violent breakout led XRP to pump 500% in a very short period of time. We're talking about a month. Now, recently, there's been some news that's been spreading that there is a derivatives deal between Bitstamp and Robinhood using the XRP ledger, which will bring in quadrillions of dollars. You read that right, quadrillions. Now, one thing you have to know about the derivatives market is that it is truly bigger than every other market on the planet. As you can see here, I have a chart from silver to crypto to military spending to coins and banknotes to the Fed's balance sheet, billionaires, gold, Fortune 500 companies, the stock market, the money supply, global debt from a government perspective, from a financial sector perspective, and then global real estate, all the way down to the derivatives market. Now, one thing you have to know about the derivatives market is that it is truly bigger than every other market on planet Earth. As you can see here, each one of these squares is denoted by $100 billion. In other words, the silver market is about $100 billion. Then you have cryptocurrency, then you have military spending. And if you continue on down the list through everything that you're seeing over here on my right-hand side, you have gold, you have the Fortune 500 companies, you have the stock market, and we're talking hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars to the tune of trillions of dollars in terms of global debt in households and governments, all the way down to global real estate. And then finally, you have global wealth and derivatives, which is the largest market, which has a notional value on the low end of 558 trillion, but on the high end of 1 quadrillion. Now, we hear the fancy financial term derivative often, but just a quick refresher for most people watching this video, a derivative, according to Investopedia, is an agreement set between two or more parties that can be traded on an exchange or over the counter. These are typically contracts, and the best way to describe them is they are typically contracts, whether they are futures or options, that are leveraged instruments which increase their potential risks and rewards. So who doesn't want to take advantage of the largest betting market in the world? We're talking it's bigger than every other market. Common derivatives include futures contracts, forwards, options, and swaps. So in this video, we'll be discussing this news and separate fact from fiction and whether or not quadrillions of dollars of money will actually flow through the XRP ledger. We'll be discussing how the IRS is now coming after crypto holders in a new announcement and what crypto holders should be cautious about moving forward. And as always, we'll cover the price action on XRP and some potential plays for the week. So if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul, and you can find me on Twitter or X at PauliDeFi, PauliDeFi. And this is truly big news, because according to Good Morning Crypto, you can see that Bitstamp, which is a crypto exchange in collaboration with Ripple, will launch their own digital derivatives exchange built entirely on the XRP ledger. In other words, they're not using any other crypto ledger to build this derivatives exchange. It will be on the XRPL. Again, anything that adds or provides liquidity to the XRPL will ultimately benefit the underlying asset, or XRP. So if you're a holder of XRP, this is tremendous news because the derivatives market is a very large market and it's larger than every other market on planet Earth. And that includes real estate, debt, government spending, you name it. Now, on that note, Robinhood is a household name now in the world of stock trading. And just for the average retail investor, and according to Good Morning Crypto, Robinhood is also agreed to acquire crypto exchange Bitstamp in a $200 million deal that's set to close in the first half of 2025. So imagine what would happen for the price of XRP as the XRPL is being used in collaboration with Bitstamp on a derivatives exchange when Robinhood offers this product to all of their customers worldwide. But will it bring quadrillions of dollars to the XRPL? Well, let's just watch this quick video and then we'll get into the facts.
A business or an institutional investor, they also want access to the things we offer. They want 24-hour access to the equity markets, and want industry-leading margin rates, a great customer experience. So over time, I do think you'll see us branching more out into serving other types of customers, not just retail, but also businesses and institutions. And to that end, we announced an acquisition of Bitstamp, a global crypto exchange. One of the things that's very attractive about that business is that it's not just international, but also institutional. It gets us access to an entirely new customer base that we're not directly serving today. I think we can do more and more of that over the next 10 years.
We are launching our own derivatives exchange in the next few months, so that's something we are most excited about and really hope to cooperate closely with Ripple there as well. In final stage of integration of really some top 30 commercial banks globally on Bitstamp as a service. So these commercial banks will offer crypto through Bitstamp. So that's definitely something we are very proud of.
Now, everybody knows who Robinhood is, at least if you're a United States citizen. But for retail investors who aren't totally into crypto, Robinhood is basically the Coinbase for stocks. And Robinhood has been doubling down on the crypto market. So their acquisition of a Bitstamp with a derivatives market on the XRPL will be tremendous. And when you go over to CoinMarketCap and you look at the top exchanges in terms of trading volume, average liquidity, weekly visits, and the total amount of markets that they service, you can see Binance is easily in first place. And every now and then Coinbase is usually second or third, considering Coinbase has a far stricter regulatory approach. In other words, they have to be far more cautious about what they list and how they approach the markets versus these offshore markets like Binance. That said, we have Bybit, Coinbase, so on and so forth. But if you scroll a little bit further down, ranked number 17, you will see Bitstamp. And over the last 24 hours, they've done $415 million in trading volume, and they earn a portion of all of those fees daily. Then you look at the average liquidity rating, and their rating is actually higher than most of these other exchanges that actually rank above them. As you can see, Binance is sitting at 890, while Coinbase is sitting at 782. However, when you look at Bitstamp, they're actually ranked higher than the ones directly above them and well below them, which means they have strong liquidity for the markets that they service. And currently they only service 213 different markets. That means trading pairs. Now, in terms of weekly visits, they don't need that many if they have high liquidity and they have a decent amount of trade volume. So when you're acquiring a company like Bitstamp for $200 million and they did $415 million of trade volume in a single day, that you could reasonably assume they're earning at least $200 million every 2 to 5 years. So if I'm going to acquire a technology company like this, I want them to be profitable for me. And when you then combine this with the technology and the speed of the XRPL with Robinhood, things can really explode. And so this is where people have been getting really excited about the rumors surrounding a derivatives market and more potentially quadrillions of dollars flowing through XRP. But the reality is we don't know if that's 100% certain. So we will uncover that here shortly. But here's a video that's been making its rounds inside of XRP communities. Let's watch it.
XRP and the XRP ledger is about to make history in 2025 because Bitstamp is building a derivative exchange right on the XRP ledger that is being acquired by Robinhood. What a lot of people don't realize is what the derivative market really actually is and how massive it is. To sum it up, the derivative market could be thought of as like a casino for the banks, where the banks and these hedge funds and whatnot, they can actually long and short and use paper contracts to actually put bets if the price of a certain asset is going to go up or go down, and use leverage behind it as well.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward through this part because we already saw this infographic with all of the different things, and he just kind of covers it all, and we'll skip directly to the end over here.
To be honest with you, because of the OTC market on these derivative contracts, we really don't know the true value of it. This is why it's very smart that they are building it on the XRP ledger, because then we will know the true value of everything, because everything will be tracked and it will be traced. Again, quadrillions are coming to the XRP ledger. Can you imagine the sheer amount of volume that is going to bring to it? And it's no given secret that real world assets such as real estate, gold, and silver is also on the XRP ledger too. So it's not a question of if XRP is going to move in price and value, it's a question of when. XRP is the standard, the solution, it is the one. This is why it's so important to know what you hold. Let's go.
Now, here's the reality. When someone says quadrillions are coming, you would have to reasonably assume that everyone in the world that's already trading in a derivatives market that's already established is only going to move directly over to the XRPL and then trade all of those real world assets on the XRPL. But they're currently doing it in these old financial systems. Now, it doesn't mean that they are effective. And it also doesn't mean that those solutions can't be made more efficient with the XRPL, but it's stupid to assume that those quadrillions have to go to the XRPL when there are also other solutions. So I'm not saying that we won't see a lot of money in inflows, but when you look at a company like Bitstamp, again, looking at it being ranked number 17 with $415 million of trade volume in the last 24 hours versus its bigger competitors sitting at billions or even $24 billion of trade volume in the last 24 hours. It's still a relative small fry. Then when you look at Robinhood and their third quarter 2024 results, you can see that even if they integrated both of their exchanges with all of their trade volume, and we're looking at actual hard data here, you can see that over the third quarter of 2024, they increased their options contracts, in other words, their derivatives market, by 47% year over year to only $443 million. So yes, the derivatives market is massive, but because Robinhood is a public company, we can actually look up their reports and we can actually see how much derivatives volume in terms of contracts they're doing. And right now it's only $443 million. In other words, the daily trade volume over at Bitstamp is arguably larger. And why are they paying $200 million for it and not billions for it? Because the company isn't earning all of that trade volume. They're earning a small fee on all of that trade volume. And that's truly how derivatives markets work. So if you have something that is as efficient and as cheap as the XRP ledger, which it is, then ultimately fees will likely come down, which means less revenue for companies like Ripple. And ultimately, yes, a lot of that value will find its way into XRP, but I would argue it's foolish to assume that the quadrillion dollar market is going to move totally and solely onto the XRPL. There's a lot of rumors in this community. There's a lot of misinformation and uneducated people. And I would tell you right now, all you have to do is look at the hard data. The reality is Robinhood and Bitstamp, and even though Robinhood is a big player, own a very, very small piece of the the derivatives market. Now, really quickly, before we dive into that news with the IRS, the price action and the lawsuit, let's cover BullRunners.com. If you haven't already, head on to the link down in the description or the bio below to check out Altcoin Pro University. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is because it is urgent. On January 1st, we will be raising the price to $197 a month. We're currently sitting at almost 1,100 members. Now, here's the reality. If you are committed to becoming a crypto millionaire in 2025, this is your one-stop shop, the best platform on planet Earth for crypto as a whole. If you're looking for the best education, we're talking hundreds of hours of expert curated classes. We're talking about live calls with our pros and experts where you get real-time guidance and you get your questions answered. We're talking about altcoin picks, that 5x, 10x, 50x from our pros. We're talking about DeFi yields, where you can put your crypto to work for you so you can actually earn on the crypto that you're already sitting on and plan to hold through the entire bull run. Now, the reality is I can't guarantee you any of these results. You actually have to put in the work to make money, but that's why we're raising the price. We need to sift and sort through the people that are actually serious because we want this to be, bar none, the strongest community on planet Earth of committed crypto individuals. So that said, we have to raise the price January 1st. However, if you get started before then, you will be locked in and grandfathered in at that $97 a month rate. So you have very little time to at least check it out. And here on this 26-minute video, you'll find out exactly what you get on the other side once you sign up. So go to bullrunners.com, click the link, just check it out. You have nothing to lose. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Let's get back into the video. Now, in this article on the lawsuit, there's a gentleman by the name of Atkins who Trump has appointed to be the new SEC chairman as Gary Gensler has stepped down. He's apparently very pro-crypto, has a decent background in crypto law, and he's apparently going to quote-unquote dismiss the case. However, Ripple, as of right now, must submit a mediation questionnaire by December 23rd, 2024, so that just passed yesterday, and then an opening brief by March 6th of 2025, and then Ripple must respond to the brief by April 7th of 2025. However, one expert by the name of Mark Fagel wrote the appeal will continue for now, and that process takes about a year. But there is a possibility that the new administration decides to move to dismiss the appeal. So it doesn't come from any government entity outside of the entire administration. We're not talking about just the SEC deciding to dismiss. We're talking about the administration pressuring the SEC under Atkins to dismiss. And he might actually have an incentive to dismiss this case, considering he's going to make a statement out of this case with Ripple saying, we are now pro-crypto. We are dropping these ridiculous lawsuits where we use lawfare to regulate versus setting actual standards, or I would argue clarity in terms of regulation. That's not something I recall happening before, but it's possible and maybe likely. However, Stark predicts that Atkins' team will move quickly to dismantle crypto investigations. And I'm totally in agreement with this statement. I think this guy has a big incentive if he wants to do well in this position to really work well with crypto companies and completely 180 on everything Gary Gensler has done. So if anything, this is extremely positive news for Ripple and the XRP token. Now, in not so great news, but something I think everyone on this channel should think about or know, is the fact that the IRS is now called crypto staking taxable. In other words, if you don't even know what that is, perfectly fine and reasonable. You don't have to worry about it. However, for those of you guys who are maybe messing around in DeFi, or if you're in crypto outside of the United States and you're on an exchange, again, doesn't really matter. But for those of you guys who are messing with DeFi in the United States and you're staking your crypto on some sort of a DeFi or decentralized finance exchange, where there was recently a lawsuit from the IRS by this crypto investor Joshua Jarrett, where he was challenging how staking is being taxed, and then the IRS basically called it taxable. In other words, if you are earning interest on your crypto, it is likely taxable, and that's probably a very reasonable thing considering we're taxed on basically everything. If I put my money into an investment and it grows in value, I'm going to get taxed on it. So I don't see why the IRS hasn't taken this stance already, but it's just something for people to think about if you're an investor in the United States. Still, I think we need to get rid of all of these ridiculous taxes by the IRS. We're already overtaxed, and ultimately our country needs to create more revenue. We need to be more productive as a nation. And instead, I do believe this whole idea surrounding tariffs, although it's going to hurt in the short term, is going to be very beneficial in the long term because it's going to bring in revenues from a governmental level so we can lower taxes and burdens on our own citizens. And that would include in innovative areas like crypto. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now for the moment of truth, the price action, typically what everyone is waiting for. As you can see here, our high was sitting at about 290. Then we had some major news out of South Korea and martial law, which created havoc, not only in the US markets, but in crypto markets as well. And being the fact that Korea is a very large market specifically for XRP, I don't know why that is, but that's just the case. It happened in 2018. It happened now. Whenever we had some news in Korea, it really created for some volatility in XRP. As you can see, we pumped all the way up to 290 and then dumped all the way down to 226 in a matter of a single 4-hour period. That said, our local lows on XRP are sitting somewhere in this range of $2 down to $1.90. And what's really interesting about that is the fact that now we've had a double bottom in this range. This was our recent or previous local high. We had a breakout to 290. Then we've had a support once and twice down in this range, only to see the market rally and then sell off a bit back down to $2.22. And we've remained in this range for a period of time. However, I would argue that this is a very strong support. Then when I'm in doubt, I typically like to zoom out. So what we will do is we will toss a trend line right through here. And you can see that we do have a local breakout right there. You can also see that we failed to break out above this $2.61 range. We did have one bull trap right here, but generally speaking, we failed to break above there. Here we have a support. Here we have a small or a slight breakout. And then if I zoom out to that daily time frame, like I said I was going to, you can see that we are actually back in a healthy range. We currently have another support right here. As you can see, consistently wick, a lot of wicks, and a bear trap right here. So if you have a situation where you have a strong support here, a breakout right here, a resistance right here, you can reasonably assume that if we break out above that wick high right here at about $2.38, we are highly likely going up to that $2.60 some cent range, about 61 to 62 cents. That said, with a support right here, I am totally happy and fine. If I pull up that 10 and 20 EMA, you can still see that we are playing with that 20 EMA. Here is the orange line right here, and we've been playing with it for quite some time. But this makes me feel a lot more confident and happy. The fact that we had a breakdown, a support, a bullish engulfing candle with this green candle right here, which basically is bigger than this candle, a break above this resistance or trend line right here, and now we just need a break above this 10 EMA. So all of this price action is bullish, and it's just building strength for that next move up. I do believe our next range is truly going to be about $2.60. We might get a little bit more resistance in this point, but the more time we spend in this range right here, whether we break back down to the 199 range or come right up to that 260 range, wherever the case may be, we're building a lot of support right in this range for a breakout. The longer the range, the longer the support, the stronger the breakout. And here's the thing, when you look at that VRVP throughout this time frame, you can see we have a stupid amount of volume traded at about the $2.40 range. So you see this huge cliff right here. This is indicative of the fact that we have a lot of interest in volume in these prices, then virtually no volume down here, just a little, and then our next major support will be 147. So if we fail to hold the 199 range, we will likely break down to 144, but I don't see that in the cards right now, as everything looks a little bit bullish, even with Christmas coming up, which leads me to believe that we're really more likely to break back up to that $2.60 range. We have a lot of support here now, and that's very healthy and good for XRP to make a move for all-time highs. And by the way, the only reason I'm saying 260 is because we might play with it one more time, but a breakout above here is truly going to take us to new highs, and new new highs are going to lead us above $3.31 or $3.34 on one other exchange, or even $3.84, which was the high on some Korean exchanges. But from an aggregate level, the average price that XRP was across all exchanges was about $3.30 some cents. So that said, anything above $3.30 is going to be a huge win for XRP, because now it's going to be in fresh territory. This is the type of stuff when you're in new all-time high territory where you really don't know how high and how long you are going to go, which is why I think right now is a great time to accumulate something like XRP. If anything, this is the best price we'll probably see in quite some time, even with the spike of volatility. You might be praying for a spike of volatility where we go back down just into that $1.90 range. And if we do, I will be buying that dip as well. So with all of that said, if you haven't already, head on over to bullrunners.com. Listen, you've heard my pitch 1,000 times if you watch these videos. Guys, just do it. 26-minute video. You have nothing to lose. Matter of fact, for most of you guys, you're going to make more money. And I can't guarantee this. So this is not financial advice. This is not me promising you any amount of money. Listen, I'm not in charge of your portfolio. I'm not the one that clicks buy in terms of your crypto. But here's what I do know. We have so many members winning that $97 a month is literally a joke. Why do we have so many members? Because a lot of people are winning. Why do we have such a high retention rate? Because so many people are winning. You watch this 26-minute video and you don't want to take advantage of it, totally fine. But at the end of the day, on January 1st, we are raising the price to $197. And if you get started before then, you are locked in. You are grandfathered in at that rate. So there's literally nothing to lose and everything to gain. Just check it out. Go to bullrunners.com. Link is in the description below. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thanks for being such a solid viewer and friend on the channel. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I will see you in the next video, my friend. Goodbye.